live in a high-tech information era where information travels across the globe at speeds of light. Computers and the internet are the driving force of the current times. But just 20 to 30 years ago, the printing press was the primary means of sharing knowledge and information. In 1377 AD, the Hungdoksa Temple in Cheongju was busy printing a book using a metal printing press. This metal printing press was the 직지. The 직지 is the world's oldest book printed using a metal printing press. 직지 is a book that was printed to distribute far and wide the master's teaching to his disciples, and the last chapter of 직지 contains detailed information about its publication. The full title of this book is called the 백운 화상 초록 불조 직지 심체 열절, and it was printed in the third year of King U's reign in Goryeo, 1377 AD. The book was printed at the Hungdoksa Temple in Cheongju, and its text clearly states it was printed using a metal printing press. So what makes the 직지 so valuable, and just how significant is its place in the history of cultural anthropology? Mankind's history on this planet began some 3 million years ago. Soon enough, they began communicating with each other through language, even though the exact time is unknown. This was the first information revolution. They expressed ideas with drawings at first, and then invented written characters. This was the second information revolution. These characters became refined over time, and with the invention of the metal printing press, a whole new generation began. The metal printing press made it possible for the mass reproduction of knowledge and information, allowing it to spread exponentially at an alarming rate. That is why the invention of metal printing press is considered as the third information revolution. In 1946, the era of high-speed, high-capacity information began after the introduction of the world's first computer. This is known to us as the Fourth Information Revolution. Time magazine of the United States selected the top 100 cases that changed the world within the past 1,000 years, with the assistance of hundreds of scholars worldwide. Despite other significant events, such as sending the first man to the moon, the first place went to Johannes Gutenberg, who printed the first 42-line Bible using a metal printing press. Born in Mainz, Germany, Johannes Gutenberg is the inventor of the first metal printing press in Europe. His printing technology spread to over 250 cities across Europe in less than 50 years and resulted in thousands of books being reproduced in various fields. The faster distribution of knowledge and information led to religious revolutions, civil revolutions, and industrial revolutions, which have ultimately led to today's democracy. It has played such an essential role in today's modern civilization, and it was the primary reason for being selected as Time magazine's single most important milestone within the past 1,000 years. However, the truth of the matter is that metal printing press technology was invented in Korea, not Germany. The Dongguk Isamgukjil, an anthology of works by Lee Gyu-bo of the late Goryeo era, states that 50 copies of Sangjong Yemun was printed using a metal printing press around 1234 AD. This predates Gutenberg's 42-line Bible by 220 years. Academic societies estimate that Goryeo's metal movable type began in the early 1200s. But unfortunately, the original metal printing press is not preserved today. The 직지 is the only book published using Goryo's metal printing press that is still preserved today. The history of Korea's printing technology scales back to the wooden printing press in the mid-8th century. The wooden printing press was created by carving letters on a wooden board. Once the wooden board was carved, it was easy to create multiple copies. However, its weakness was that the new wooden boards had to be carved for printing each new book, and it was very time-consuming. Then, an innovative printing technology that overcame the weakness of the wooden printing press was invented. It was the metal printing press. Metal was an ideal material mankind had easy access to, and each letter was created by casting molten metal. Then, these individual letters were arranged within a typesetting to easily print different books in a short period of time. What kind of nation was Goryeo, and how did it develop and use the world's first metal printing press? Goryeo was formed by King Hwanggun in 918 AD and focused heavily on education and academics since its early years. The Gukja-gam, a national university of the same dynasty, was established during King Seongjong's reign, and the National Library, Naesoseong, had already long been established during King Hwanggun's reign. Although it went through different names, such as Biseosong, Sojokpo, and Sojokwan, the reputation of Goryeo's library was very highly esteemed. The library was filled with books, and the sounds of people reading books aloud resonated throughout the streets of the Gaesong. In the history of Goryeo, it is stated that an envoy of the neighboring Song dynasty placed a special order for 5,000 books in the 8th year of King Seongjong's reign, 1091 AD. Just how many books did Goryeo have that they received special orders from the Song dynasty? Simply put, Goryeo was also known as the Kingdom of Literature. This cultural background has naturally led to the development of metal printing technology. Goryeo's culture was at its highest in the world, so high that the metal printing press was used in the suburban city of Cheongju. The metal printing technology, which was developed by Goryeo, was handed down to Joseon and led it to blossom into an even more magnificent civilization. In the 3rd year of King Taejong's reign, 1403 AD, the Jujaso, responsible for metal printing press, was established. After Hangul was developed by King Sejong, Hangul typesets were created as well. The printing of one in Cheongang, Jigok, first Korean book printed using the metal printing press, was printed 8 years before Gutenberg's Bible. Metal printing proves that Goryeo was the world's leading nation of information and knowledge at the time. Also, the 직지 is the only proof of Goryeo's metal printing in existence. However, not a single copy of 직지 has yet been discovered in Korea. The only copy of the 직지 preserved today is stored at the Oriental Manuscripts Room of the National Library of France. The 직지 was taken to France by Colin de Plancy, the first French consul to Korea. He encountered the 직지 in Korea in the late 1890s and wrote, "This book is the world's oldest metalloid type," on its cover. And in 1900, at the Universal International Exhibition held in Paris, he announced to the world about the existence and the value of the 직지. In 1911, the 직지 was sold to Henri Wever during an auction held at the Hotel Drouot. It was donated to the National Library of France in 1952, according to the wills of Henri Verver, and has been since preserved there to this day. In 1985, in Uncheon-dong, Cheongju City, the site of Hundoksa, where the historic 직지 was printed and discovered, was designated as Historic Site 315 by the Korean government. The Cheongju Early Printing Museum was built in 1992 to celebrate the 직지, the world's first book printed using a metal printing press. In 2001, the 직지 was enlisted as a UNESCO Memory of the World. The authenticity and values of the 직지 had been finally certified by the International Society. The city of Cheongju designated September 4th, the day when the 직지 was enlisted as a memory of the world, as the 직지 Day, and began holding the 직지 Festival. Through this festival, Cheongju is spreading the value of the 직지 to the hearts of its citizens. Furthermore, the 직지 Prize was created in 2004 and has been given out once every 2 years since 2005. Now, the values of the 직지 are being shared with the world beyond Cheongju and Korea. Korea's world-leading dominance in semiconductors, IT, and the Internet today is the result of the nation's forefathers and their impressive genetics, handed down through ancestors who developed the world's first metal printing press. With dignity and pride for developing the world's first metal printing press, we will lead the world once again in the 21st century. 직ji is the most proud symbol of Korea.